Welcome to Open History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more video like this one.
In 1889, Joseph Merrick, known as the Elephant Man, was often viewed as a spectacle. Yet, under Dr. Trevis's care, his true nature emerged. A man described as gentle, sensitive, and profoundly intelligent, despite his severe physical deformities. Sophia Loren remains the gold standard of cinema. She combined elegance, wit, and a formidable spirit to become one of history's most beloved icons. In 1937, photos of an ape man in Brazil caused a stir. Now known to be a hoax from a Dutch magazine, the images used clever makeup to create a mystery that captivated a world hungry for the unknown. In 1917, French soldiers used flamethrowers at Chemin des Dames. This terrifying weapon turned the trenches into a living hell of fire. Carthage's Tophet reveals thousands of urns with cremated child remains for the gods. Fact: modern bone studies confirm ritual sacrifice was a chilling reality of Punic faith, not just Roman propaganda. Neanderthals were Ice Age powerhouses with dense bones and barrel chests. Built for strength over speed, they hunted megafauna at close range, a rugged life etched into their fossilized remains. In the 1960s, Anita Ekberg became Sweden's most famous export. Her beauty and talent defined the glamour of a truly golden age in cinema. King Frederick IX, the Sailor King, shocked and charmed the world in 1951 by revealing a torso covered in tattoos. A passionate bodybuilder and sailor, he wore his ink as badges of a life lived at sea. In the 1920s, Dolores Costello was the goddess of the screen. As the matriarch of the Barrymores, her elegance remains a Hollywood legend. In 1945, a woman in Nagasaki survived the atomic blast that leveled her city in seconds. Fact: known as Hibakusha, survivors like her endured radiation and social stigma, yet many became powerful voices for global peace and nuclear disarmament. In 1890, Dogchild and the Only Handsome Woman stood with pride. Their portrait is a powerful symbol of Blackfoot resilience and heritage. From 1820 to 25, Windsor Castle has stood the test of time. Its walls hold a millennium of royal history and enduring beauty. Leonardo da Vinci's genius is legendary, but his true face remained a mystery. By using AI to reconstruct his features from his own sketches, we can finally look into the eyes of the man who bridged art and science like no one else. A German soldier with his French girlfriend in the occupied Paris, 1942. 3,000 years ago, Egyptian embalmers used natron and resins to freeze time, preserving this elite's face. Fact: beyond the gold and myths, these mummies reveal the actual biology of the Nile, including their diets and DNA. Mark Antony's passion for Cleopatra led him to surrender his duty to Rome, even executing her rivals at her request. Their alliance was a lethal mix of strategic power and romantic obsession. In the early 1950s, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall shared a quiet moment with their son, Stephen. Their love remains the ultimate Hollywood legend. After the 1944 liberation of France, the Wild Purge saw thousands of women publicly humiliated for alleged ties to occupiers. Their heads were shaved as symbolic punishment, a chaotic act where justice often blurred into raw revenge. In 1866, the Italian army was a mosaic of professional line infantry, daring mounted guides, and the Hungarian Legion. Together, they fought for a unified Italy, merging tradition with revolution. On April 28, 1945, Nazi camps fell into a power vacuum. Guards fled, leaving starving inmates in a tense state of liminal freedom, struggling to survive until Allied rescuers finally arrived. In 1915, Italian soldiers on the Alpine front hauled heavy supplies and weapons across frozen peaks. Alongside loyal animals, they faced the White War, where survival meant battling both the enemy and the brutal ice. Audrey Hepburn remains the gold standard of grace. Her expressive eyes and radiant spirit created a legacy of timeless perfection in Hollywood. In Bartholomew Roberts' Code, duels were settled on shore under the quartermaster's gaze. Disputants fired pistols, then turned to cutlasses. The first to draw blood was the victor, proving that even among pirates, honor had a lethal structure. In 1948, the Jordanian Arab Legion defended the Tower of David. Under Major Al-Tal, they held Jerusalem's ancient walls using a mix of American, German, and British surplus weaponry. In 332 BCE, Alexander the Great was hailed as Pharaoh, liberator of Egypt. By seeking the oracle of Amun, he blended Macedonian power with ancient sacred traditions, ruling not as a conqueror, but as a divine protector. In 1941, double amputee ace Douglas Bader bailed out of his Spitfire, losing a prosthetic leg in the process. Fact: the RAF dropped a replacement leg with German permission, then immediately bombed the same airfield in a classic display of wartime irony. DNA from Unitas individuals in Brandenburg reveals deep ties to Baltic Bronze Age cultures. This genetic link unmasks a prehistoric network of migration and trade that connected Central Europe to northern shores. In the 1950s, Elizabeth Taylor stood alone as a symbol of beauty. Her captivating gaze and fierce spirit created an eternal Hollywood legend. Churchill and Lincoln, masters of resolve, anchored their nations in their darkest hours. Separated by a century, their shared burden of leadership in existential wars transcends time. In 1957, Mala Powers embodied the intellectual grace of Hollywood. Her dedication to her craft made her a standout star of the era. – 3500 BCE. Long before pyramids, Egypt's dead were buried in desert sand, naturally mummified by the heat. Fact: these fetal burials included pottery for the afterlife, proving Egyptian spiritualism began centuries before the first pharaoh. In the 1870s, Leander McNally brought order to a lawless Texas. Though frail in body, his fearless spirit made him a frontier legend. In 1950, this couple landed a massive blue catfish in Oklahoma. Their legendary catch remains a stunning record of the river's hidden giants. In 1949, Norman Rockwell halted the world for a dog. To capture Roadblock, he staged a Los Angeles alleyway, meticulously posing every neighbor and even repainting a massive truck red to satisfy his vision. In 390 BC, Gauls crushed Rome's rigid phalanx. Fact: this disaster led to the maniple system, trading Greek spears for flexible units that eventually conquered the known world. Lucina Białek, born in 1928, was just 14 when she was sent to Auschwitz and reduced to number 26831. Remembering her name restores the humanity and identity that cruelty tried to erase. In 1942, payday on a Navy cruiser was a rare moment of joy. It was a vital link to home, and a boost for sailors facing the storms of war. Florence's Four Seasons features 18th century tiles, a peak of Italian art. Fact, these hand-painted floors reflect the palazzo's noble history, blending Baroque geometry with timeless elegance. In the 1860s, the samurai stood for their final portraits, fully aware that their world was fading. These studio images were deliberate acts of defiance, freezing their armor and honor in time before the age of the sword vanished forever. In 1937, Chicago launched a vertical parking revolution. This mechanical marvel showed how technology could solve the growing chaos of city streets. In 1893, London witnessed a mirror image of royalty as Tsar Nicholas II and King George V posed together. These first cousins shared a resemblance so striking it often confused their own courts, a visual testament to the tightly knit and doomed web of Europe's royal houses. Richard II was a king of art and ceremony, preferring sacred display over the battlefield. His refined face, restored by forensic art, reflects the tragic isolation of a ruler whose divine ambitions led to a lonely end. In 1942, an Italian gunner sent a grim greeting to Stalin. His message on a shell captured the dark irony of the brutal Eastern Front. In 1944, a young Lauren Bacall made history with one look. Her chemistry with Bogart became the greatest love story of the era. In 1930, President Coolidge honored Charles Lindbergh in D.C. This ceremony hailed the Lone Eagle for his Atlantic crossing, bridging the gap between early flight and the modern age of aviation. At the Hydaspes, Alexander braved a monsoon storm to outmaneuver King Porus and his war elephants. Moved by Porus's valor, Alexander restored his throne, marking the final eastern limit of his vast empire. Shelley Winters was a true Hollywood original. Her fearless talent and outspoken spirit created a legendary legacy across 60 years of cinema. In 627, Heraclius defeated Razad at Nineveh. This duel marked the end of an era and the exhaustion of two great empires. In 1974, Anne Margaret dazzled the world. Her radiant talent and electric energy made her a magnetic icon of the musical stage. Mary and Eliza Boone survived the brutal Montana winter of 1881, trapped in a cabin buried by snow. With their parents missing and resources gone, their shared resolve and stubborn fire outlasted the storm that tried to bury them. The reliefs of the Apadana Palace capture the grandeur of Persepolis, where 23 nations once marched in stone to honor the Persian kings. These carvings are frozen echoes of an empire that bridged the world from the Indus to the Nile. In 1916, the garrison of Fort Vaux turned concrete into a fortress of will. Amid poison gas and flamethrowers, they fought for 5 days without water, proving that even modern terror could not break the human spirit. In 536, Belisarius reclaimed Rome with a tiny force. His courage and loyalty restored the heart of the empire against all odds. Napoleon worshipped Josephine with a madness that defined his rise and haunted his fall. Though political necessity forced their divorce, her name was the final word on his lips, a testament to a love that outlasted both his empire and his exile. In 1323 BCE, Egyptian tombs were packed with gold, the flesh of the gods. Fact, these treasures weren't just for show. They were ritual tools intended to sustain the soul in the afterlife. Born in Roman splendor, Princess Mafalda became the Nazis' most prized prisoner. From the heights of royalty to the horrors of Buchenwald, her life ended in a tragic sacrifice that cruelty could not erase.
Thanks for watching. Got an idea for a forgotten era I should explore? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to make it.